She blocked the sidewalk again. I couldn't even get into my own home with my wheelchair. When I took a photo, she came out screaming. Seconds later, she had her hands around my throat, punching me. But what she didn't know, that single moment would destroy her entire life, and it would all be her fault. If you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or pushed past your breaking point, this story is for you. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying justice you've ever witnessed? Because this one is definitely unforgettable. Let me take you back to the moment I realized just how invisible people like me can be. I have a severe fainting disorder, POTS, for those who know it. It means I sometimes collapse without warning, and I rely on a wheelchair to get around safely. My body can be unpredictable, but what makes it worse is when people treat me like I don't even deserve to exist comfortably. Every day after work, I'd pull into my apartment complex. It's already drained from keeping myself together in a world built for people who need wheels to walk. But one thing made it even worse. A certain neighbor who believed her convenience mattered more than anyone else's safety. There's a clearly marked fire lane right outside the building. Not just that, it's also the only accessible path to the entrance. A literal no parking zone, painted in bold red, with a sign posted for anyone with working eyes. But this woman didn't care. Her car, beat up and tinted to hide God knows what, would be parked there nearly every night, blocking the sidewalk. Blocking my only way in. For months, I'd struggled to maneuver around it. Sometimes I'd try squeezing by on the edge, nearly tipping over. Other times, I'd have to abandon my wheelchair in the car and hobble inside, dangerously risking a collapse. I'd brought it up to the landlord before, just in passing. To my surprise, he was pissed and told me to start documenting it. Take photos, he said, and email them every time. I'll handle it legally. So I started doing just that. Quietly, patiently, like someone who still believed rules mattered. Then came the day everything unraveled. I came home after a long shift, legs shaky, body already pushing its limits, and of course her car was there. Right on the sidewalk again, I took out my phone and started snapping photos like I'd done a dozen times before. Suddenly, the apartment door behind me slammed open, and there she was, barefoot, wild-eyed, and already mid-scream. What the F*** are you doing taking pictures of my car? I stayed calm, didn't even look at her. Just turned, clutching my keys, and started making my way toward the building. But she wasn't done, not even close. She stormed right up to me, got in my face, and kept screaming, inches from my skin. I could smell the cigarette smoke on her breath, her acrylic nails waving dangerously close to my eyes. Then I did something I barely remember. A pure reflex. I shoved her. Not hard, just enough to get space. She froze for a second, then exploded. Her hand grabbed my throat like she was trying to crush something inside me. The first punch caught me on the cheek, the second one on the temple. I stumbled. My vision blurred, but the fists kept coming. I remember feeling the sharp sting of her fake nails digging into my neck. I remember the terror, the disbelief, the rage bubbling under the surface, and then I collapsed. But not from her punches. My body gave out the way it sometimes does. Syncope. Blackout. I was on the ground, bleeding from my neck, the world spinning in silent, breathless chaos. I don't remember what happened next. Not exactly, but my neighbors do. Apparently, my roommate and a few folks next door had been outside having a smoke. They heard the yelling. They saw the assault, and they ran in. They pulled her off me, called 911, and kept pressure on my neck until the paramedics arrived. While I lay on a stretcher, half conscious, I heard the sirens. I felt the force sliding into my arm. And I made a decision right there in the back of the ambulance. I was pressing charges. I thought maybe it would be assault, maybe aggravated since I'm disabled. Maybe that would finally scare her straight. But that's not what happened. What happened was so much more. I told the police everything, every detail. I even told them about the gun I'd seen on her wall once, casually hung like it was art. She was a convicted felon. She shouldn't even be near a firearm. I wanted them to go while she was still home. I had a gut feeling, no, a certainty that there was more to her story. And oh, I was right. They found her sitting on her couch like nothing happened. But that wasn't what shocked them. Her car, completely stolen. No license plate, no insurance, no registration. And no valid driver's license for her either. Inside the apartment, a nightmare. Dirty needles on the floor, empty bags with residue, a couch with burns. And in the corner, an 8-year-old child, her son, holding a phone. That phone had been recording. She had told him her own child to record her attacking me. Probably thought she'd get some footage she could use to twist the story. Instead, it was all there. Every second crystal clear. Her screaming, her hitting me, my collapse, everything. And the footage didn't just prove my story, it showed a pattern. Turns out, this woman had 6 prior assault charges in the last 5 years. 7, and she still had custody of a child. Not anymore. The Department of Child Services took the kid that same day. He's in foster care now, somewhere safer. I think about him often. I hope he gets the stability she never gave him. As for her, the charges stacked up like bricks in a prison wall. Assaulting a disabled person, child endangerment, possession of a firearm as a felon, possession of a stolen firearm, drug possession, paraphernalia, vehicle theft, driving without a license, driving uninsured, and worst of all, everything happened inside her home, which legally changed everything. If she'd attacked me outside on the street, she might have gotten probation as a struggling single mother. That's how the system often works. But inside her residence with her child present, with drugs and weapons and a stolen car. That was game over. The district attorney didn't even blink. The judge denied her bond. And now, she's looking at 30 years minimum. Maybe more. Depends on how the state decides to stack the drug charges and illegal firearm possession. And I feel peace. Not because someone's suffering, but because justice wasn't blind this time. When I close my eyes, I still remember the fear, the helplessness of having someone literally try to crush my throat. But I also remember the ambulance doors closing, the flashing lights, the quiet assurance of a paramedic's voice saying, "You're safe now." That woman didn't just lose her temper, she lost everything. Her freedom, her reputation, her child. Because when you treat people like they don't matter, when you act like the world owes you something, eventually the world fights back. She thought I was weak, 'cause I sit in a chair, because I'm quiet, because I take pictures instead of yelling. But justice doesn't need to shout. It just needs the truth. And the truth buried her. Sometimes the people the world overlooks are the ones with the most strength. Don't mistake quiet for powerless. And don't ever think someone's disability makes them less dangerous to your lies. If you found this story as satisfying as I did, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real stories where karma shows up loud and uninvited. And tell me in the comments what's the most unbelievable act of justice you've ever seen. Let's talk about it.